Hi, and welcome back to Impress Yourself. Today we're talking about why success eludes you no matter how hard you try. We've all been there, full tilt. We've put in 16 hours, said yes, yes, and yes, and then it all crumbled. This has happened to each and every one of us at some point in our lives. Most of us overlook the fact that less is actually more because it doesn't make sense to our brains, to how we were raised, to our culture, to what we see and what the positive feedback is. And what we tend to hear at school, social media, from your friends, from your bosses is working harder gets you that pat on the back or it gets you farther, but that is true. That work hard mantra has governed us our entire lives, and we end up spinning our wheels and we're going nowhere fast and nowhere often. The reality is that in order to attain success, in order to maintain it, and in order to enjoy it, is that you need energy. Plain and simple. Emotional, psychological, physical, social, you need energy. And you hear the stories so often of someone who reached the top of their game and then crash. You know, they either end up, spinning out or losing it all, or becoming overly anxious, or just not being aware as to where their money and their wealth is going, not able to step up to their game again and have that run. And many times you'll hear, especially in the superstar world, someone has canceled a tour due to stress, or, they're going into rehab or burnout or whatnot. And this is because we actually fail to create energy. And it doesn't happen to superstars, it happens to everyday people. Work at home moms, work from home dads, or even stay at home mom and dads, nurses, firefighters, your grocer. This happens to regular everyday people, teachers, influencers. And so it baffles me why our community continues on this spin of work harder. If you just work harder, pull in an all-nighter, you're gonna get there. Well, your body is on an instinctive record, so it'll just shut down. That includes your mind, your soul, your thoughts, everything shuts down. And this is mainly reinforced in school. You'll hear about the cut of artistic programs, the cut of gym, and the kids are laden with so much homework. So they're working in school and they're working at home, and there's no mental space. And then you see the dropout rate increase. You see EQ, I believe it is, test scores dropping. You see that when there's an increase of anxiety and depression, performance anxiety especially, and then they make it college or university, and usually the first year is rough because they haven't, they're already at an energy deficit. They're at an energy deficit in all areas of their life. And so they end up, taking a course that maybe is not going to service them at all. So they end up working graduating, working in the industry that's not theirs, or they drop out, or they need to take a break. They need to take a gap year. Well, the reality is that we live on a physical plane, right? We're not machines. Our body is very machine-like, but there's still consequences to deficits that we create, or deficits that from our choices occur. And so we're governed by physical laws. Our body and our minds adhere to the same rule as if I toss a ball up and don't reach out my hand to catch it, it's gonna fall. Unless someone's up there to catch it. But if I toss a ball up, it's gonna hit the ground. It's gonna come right back down. There's physical plane laws like that govern how we are able to operate, how our minds, body, spirit, everything that involves us operates. So globally, again, we've lost that simple fact that we need to create energy to be successful with what we have and where we're at, and to move up to different levels of success. And usually what happens is we trade off water, we choose coffee. Exercise, we choose the couch. Fresh air, we choose hibernation. I personally love my lush blanket. Netflix, we choose over silence. And so every time we trade off the above, we lose focus, enthusiasm, or instinctive ability to adapt and be innovative and enjoy the ride. And so I'm going to give you 3 steps to creating energy hourly to get you through your day and to help you wake up the next day feeling a little bit more refreshed, a little bit more clear-headed. The first step, and you've heard this a million times, but it's a reality, you need water. About 50 to 70% of our body is made up of water, and that gets lost throughout the day. So just talking, moving around, waking through your pores, that gets lost through the day. And when it becomes depleted, we become foggy and grumpy and tired and forgetful. And why is that so important? What about that is key? Believe it or not, your brain fluid decreases when you don't replenish your fluid volume over the day. And when your brain fluid decreases, your brain volume decreases. And then that affects how your cells function in the brain. And so at this stage of the game, we're thirsty, we're feeling foggy, it's the afternoon slump. What we tend to do, we want a quick fix. Quick fix, delayed gratification is just not in the cards right now for us. So we grab a coffee, and that shrinks blood vessels even more. And then we panic and grab another coffee because, hey, that didn't do it for us. So you end up not being able to think clearly, your motivation is gone, you don't know why you're so tired, you're starting to beat up on yourself, and then you tell yourself, listen, get your head in the game. I've been there, done this. Push harder, you gotta work harder. What's wrong with you? Get your head in the game, get it together, come on, not now. And you forget about your goals and you feel defeated. The next time this happens to you, and if this is happening to you right now, grab a big glass of water. You're gonna thank yourself for it. It's better yet, start drinking water early in the day. And aim for a glass of water every 90 minutes because your wealth and health depends on it. And if you're like one of my sisters, they hate water. She hates water. And but she realized that she really needed it. She's like, oh man, when I drink water, I feel better. And so we tweaked, we would add a little bit of juice and water, to her taste. There's those little flavor crystals and flavor drops that you can add. What I love to add is lemons. I love adding lemon to my water. And I have this, because I work out, I have this ketone little powder package that I add to my flavor up. And I drink at least 2 liters a day at the very least. The second way to create energy in an hour is breathe. Did you know, when we first come into the world, it's that first breath that really triggers all of our body mechanisms to start to work together in tandem with each other for us to be able to thrive and be alive. And what has happened is that over the course of the day, there's like a breathing pacemaker in our brains, and it sort of regulates our breath responses to stress. And because we have so much stimuli going on, not just externally but internally in our own thought processes, and then we have to accommodate, our environment, other people, global, excuse me, with so much going on, we end up we're overstimulated. So we started to breathe in sort of, it's like a mild hyperventilated state. And so what happens is that the brain, of course, is deoxygenized. And if you've ever hyperventilated, you know very well that you can't make sense of anything going on around you. You feel panic, you can't think clearly, and some people even pass out. So can you imagine going through your day putting out fires and addressing crises left, right, and center, and breathing in that sort of hyper alert state. So what I ask you to try is conscious breathing. And the technique I use is 5-3-5. So it's in, breathe in on 5 seconds, hold for 3, breathe out on 5. And when, there's studies that show with controlled breathing, it resets the stress response. But not only that, it calms your thoughts so that you can focus better, lower your blood pressure, your emotions you're able to regulate your emotions much better, your memory improves, and your awareness becomes more organized. So the next time, 3 minutes out before or even after meetings, before and after tasks, tie it to something that you're doing throughout your day. Take 3 to 5 minutes and do at least 5 cycles of 5-3 breathing. It actually resets your limbic system that is responsible for all your sort of automated functions within the body. Now, the third one, this is huge, and it is unfortunately one of the biggest deficits that hold us back from success, and that's silence. I had the opportunity of watching a video, and I wish I could remember his name in this moment, of a CEO whose silence was so important to him. He's one of the world's youngest billionaires, and I'm sorry that his name eludes me now. His silence is so important to him that he gets up at 5 a.m. before he goes to the office to enjoy 2 hours of silence. That's how important it is to him. And I'm going to tell you in a moment why it should be just as important to you also. Our minds and our brains are like a fabulous, marvelous machine that we're still discovering. And the idea that we only use 10% and have made so many advances in all areas of our life is a marvel. Can you imagine where we'd be if we were using 100%? So we have to cherish that 10%. My favorite piece of advice is never to let people rent space in your head. And this is what happens when you don't practice moments or periods of silence. Everything externally, including your own running thoughts, is renting space in your head. And location, you'll hear that in real estate. Hey, this is prime real estate location. This is like waterfront view, right? And so you want to buy back that time and really shut down that space and shut down the thoughts. And one of the, and it happens, it's not like we wake up and we allow people into our home or our heads or situations. It happens unconsciously and sometimes consciously also. So no wonder with so much going on in our brain, it's very difficult for us to be myopically focused on the next step to take you from where you are to where you want to be. And we get so distracted that the shortcut is to start impressing people as opposed to impressing yourself. So succeeding on purpose, which is a purposeful act of creating your own success, falls by the wayside. So when we are overstimulated in that manner, we become progressively unfocused. Been there, done this. Exhausted, anxious, blue, irritable. Eventually we shut down. Like you start to doze off. You're on a train home and you're just like sleep because your brain is telling you it is overloaded. That the circuit or the memory card is overloaded and it needs to process it. So silence actually regenerates brain cells. Isn't that amazing? I absolutely believe this, experienced it, and love the fact that silence regenerates brain cells. It happens mainly in the hippocampus, and this is a part of the brain that governs learning and memory and emotions. So not only does your brain regenerate, but you start to process solutions for existing problems. and your creative spark is reignited and stress levels drop enormously. Now this is the perfect environment to really sit down and create the life that you imagined. And not only to imagine it, but to be able to act upon it. Act upon it purposely, act upon it strategically. You know, be able to know what supports you need, what's not working, what you need to get rid of, what you need to bring on board to move you forward. So in essence, you enter a state that helps you think deeply, creatively, you become solution oriented, and your imagination is ignited. So you begin to think out of the box. So next time you think that, oh my gosh, I don't have time for quiet. Yes, you do. This is part of working smarter as opposed to harder. If you've ever heard that quip. Take 5 minutes silence. Better yet, try 30 minutes of silence. And just, be there with yourself and your thoughts. I know initially some people find it hard, so I often coach my clients to start at 5, work up to 10, 20, 30. The ultimate goal is 2 hours. I haven't reached there yet. I can enjoy 30 to 60 minutes of silence and really feel the benefits. So getting it done made easy for you here. You can create the energy you need to launch, maintain, and readjust your success journey and enjoy it all at the same time. You can do this in an hour every day. Start with a big glass of water, okay? And what is that gonna take? 5-10 minutes? Your next step is breathing, right? Take another 10 minutes to do some conscious breathing, the 5-3 breathing I talked about earlier. And then last, take the rest of time to enjoy silence. You can do this on your break. And one of the things I do, incorporate silence with a walk outdoors, and it's just so energizing, and it just helps the mind work so much better. And I've had positive feedback from my clients that this is work. So an hour a day, you can create the energy you need to maintain your success, to really bring clarity into your life so that your success doesn't elude you. Because if you're fogged, if you are tired, you're not able to problem solve. You're not able to see which balls are dropping, which balls you need to get rid of, which balls you need to bring on board. And so you're just spinning your wheels with things that don't work. So when you're energized, then you are able to see clearly and strategically adjust where you need so that you can move forward. And this is why a lot of people, their success journey, their goals, their intentions elude them, or they get there and they're not able to enjoy it. It slips out, out of their hand like quicksand. So now go out there with clarity and enthusiasm to succeed on purpose and impress yourself. You are building a strong foundation, and I challenge you to use these techniques to create wealth and health in your life. Remember, succeed on purpose and impress yourself. I am rooting for you. Take care.